Alright, hello guys. I'm really sorry it took long for me to upload this video of me trying the Canson Montval paper one. I don't know, I was so sick and I've never been this sick before. I'm like literally I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even like stand long, and I couldn't even taste anything or smell anything. It's just, it has been long since I've been that sick, and I never actually thought that I could get sick like that again. But yeah, it just felt so horrible. I couldn't do anything. I've been wanting to make more videos for YouTube, but just things just has to happen. And yeah, but I'm so great that I'm back now. I'm feeling better. This video has been in my computer for a long time. It's just waiting for me to edit it. But yeah, like I said, I was so sick, but I'm glad I'm done with this now and you're actually watching this now. But yeah, stop with my rambling that you probably don't really care about. But yeah, this Canson Montval one, I thought this paper was going to be so much better than the Canson XL, and what I can say though is there's not much difference. There's not much difference between the Montval and the XL one. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but that is my opinion towards it. And actually I like that Canson XL more than this Montval. For me, it has a weird texture. It feels like it's a paper mache, that it's almost like a recycled version of the Canson XL one. The only thing that I really liked about this is that yes, it is easy to do lifting, but I don't really do much lifting with my paintings. I actually find it weird, but it's easy to work with since I'm really used to Canson XL anyway. I'm about to head to the informations that I gathered while I was doing all these tests on this paper. I'll talk to you a little bit later. So as you can see, I did some testing just to have a feel of this paper, and I also did the same test in the Canson XL one and this Arches Rough Watercolor postcard that I had. This is my last postcard, and I don't think I'm going to buy another one of this because this is super rough and I really don't need that for the style of painting that I'm doing. But nevertheless, this is a good paper, just to have something to compare the Montval one to. What I can say right off the bat, Canson Montval and the XL one doesn't really have a lot of difference. For me, they kind of work the same, and like I mentioned, the texture of this paper is kind of like paper mache. It almost feels like this is a recycled paper, but when you do a flat paint anyway, it doesn't really show, and you can still get a very flat finish. And even though the Canson XL one is smoother, it does have the same look when you do a flat wash. I had to do a lot of flat wash here because, as you can see, I messed up right there. It doesn't really look flat. I thought that was the texture of the paper that made that, but no, that was just me, so that's my bad. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I also did some lifting here, and what I can say though is that it's really easy to lift the colors off the paper, which means this paper doesn't really absorb the pigment. I used a paper towel on this one, and here I just used a wet but clean brush to lift the color up. Also, the transition between these two colors are not that great. I mean, it's not really great at all. You don't see them mixing here. It's just, it looks like they're pushing each other instead of working together. You know what I mean? And here you can totally see the texture of the paper when I did the dry on dry technique. And as you can see, there's no pattern at all with the bumpiness of this paper. Unlike the Canson XL one though, it's more smooth. That's why the outcome of the dry on dry technique looks more like this. It was really hard to get a texture out of it. And then this one, I don't know what you call this technique, but I usually do this. You just put on water on the paper and then you just dab some pigments inside it. And as you can see, the color didn't really spread. And I know Holbein Watercolors, I've been using them for a year now, and I know they're not a spready watercolor. She's too shy to spread, but I thought that was just the watercolors here. But I also did it in the Canson XL one, and as you can see here, she spread more, which made it appear softer, and there's more movement than this one. And here we can compare the lifting that I did. The color literally stained the paper immediately, unlike here. But you can still lift it with wet brush. But like I said, it's just really easier to lift up colors here. And then let's talk about the gradient work. Like, what happened here? The pigments were just pushed to the side or to the edges, which is really weird, but also I think it looks kind of cool because of this strange pattern or texture that it has. But if you compare the gradient to this one, this is so much smoother and probably the look that you're looking for with gradient. So this is really weird compared to the Canson XL one. Now I'm gonna show you why Arches is one of the best papers out there, and it's really understandable that its price is higher than these papers. It's because the quality of this paper is just so amazing. Like, I didn't even put any effort on this. It just gave me the best result of all. I'm gonna start with the flat one and just look how vibrant the color turned out compared to here. These colors look pale, but this one is so vibrant. And the same spread here, it's softer, and it made my watercolor spread more or move more. And here, like what I'm talking about, the pigments are working together, they're combining together, and they made themselves do a beautiful and soft gradient, unlike here in the Montval one and in the Canson one. Like, I had to work hard to maybe make it look like this, but it didn't even look like that because the blue pigment didn't really combine with the red at all. But here, it was so easy to do. And even the gradient, look at that. It's so much softer and brilliant. And it absorbs so much pigment, so when you use a paper towel right there, you can't even see that you're lifting it up. But if you use a wet brush, you can do lifting still, but you know what I mean. And this is a good quality paper, so you can distress this, is that what you call it? This paper is tougher than this too. So, my final verdict. I think this works exactly like the Canson XL paper, but it buckles more because it is a little bit thinner and it's easier to do lifting on this paper. But overall, it really just works like Canson XL, on my opinion. Am I going to buy this again? Yes, this is a decent paper for practicing, and I'm just yet to find out how art prints would look like using this paper, and I will find that out once I get my printer. So yeah. About the weird texture of the paper, it didn't show really. It didn't really bother the painting, like as you can see here. The texture of the paper is not something to worry about. Just for me, it looks exactly like in Canson XL. There's not much of a difference there. It's just the Canson XL one is much sturdier. But on this painting, I really didn't do any lifting at all. And I don't think I ever did any lifting actually, because this is the first time that I tried painting like this. I did a lot of lifting on his nose, that's why you can see a little bit of a stress on that part. And that was my fault. That wasn't the paper's fault, it's just my fault. I just overworked it. But yeah, I encourage you guys to try the Canson Montval paper. And I still don't know why this is 270 GSM, because I've seen some reviews and they all have the 300 GSM one. I don't even know if there's a difference, but yeah, these are just my opinion. I think it's still best for you guys to try it out yourself if you're gonna like it or not. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I helped a little bit or gave you an idea about this paper, and I will see you soon, guys. Take care, y'all, and I love you.